welcome back to Prime Morning News Flash. And so we're starting with the Daily Graphic this morning. And there's a big story in front of the Daily Graphic. BOG buys first gold in 60 years, plans to purchase 540 kg with 200 million Ghana cedis in 2021. The story is on page 3 of the Daily Graphic this morning. Now, this one has got my full attention. Accra to motorway potholes patched up. They've been patched up? I'm not too sure, because a day before yesterday I was on the motorway and I don't know if the patched up is what is even making it terrible to drive on the motorway or not.
So it's very recent. Yes, I don't know which part of the motorway you used and whether I mean, we've been following these developments, but one of the major problems, do you see, it's like I also be a you see different. That's because they are and all apologies to those who are, but the fact is the motorway is concrete, like you would see in many developed countries. Concrete. And even in the 60s, that is what Nkrumah was thinking. Fantastic, we're patching up concrete with asphalt.
Oh, okay, that's
and
why.
That is part of why we keep patching and patching and patching, and some things don't work. Plus,
the patching is not smooth.
As fit. So you see, you are driving and you get there, and it will be net. All those things, I know in some way they also create their own.
It's no different from driving on a rough road, really, on the motorway. Well, that's the situation. It's on page 16 of the Daily Graphic this morning. And also, make health facility audit report public is on page 20. This is coming up after Aisha spoke with Honorable Kwamina Minta Kando and yesterday on the PM Express, and also got the public, the chairman for Health Committee in Parliament also on phone yesterday, following the abandoned health facilities. And this is what the minorities have been challenging government. This was because the chairman, Dr. I find the name, forgot, but he was actually asking Aisha that we go and then demand the reports from the Ministry of Health, which I didn't think. I mean, if we're talking to the chairman of the Health Committee, he should be able to give us information, because we are asking on live television, but it says that we should make a conscious effort to go to the ministry ourselves and they ask for this report. But however, the minority has been speaking and said that they should make the audit report public if they have it. This is they're giving us explanation as to why some of the projects have been abandoned. It's shifting some of the blames onto contractors and all of that. But the story is on page 20 of the Daily Graphic this morning. And also, unlicensed coaches hot, can't handle clubs. GFA is on page 37 of the Daily Graphic this morning. Yep, that's it. That's it. Chief Justice calls for more resources to facilitate justice delivery. I know that this is coming up after just 23 or 24% of the number of persons that wrote the entrance exams to Ghana School of Law didn't just made it. Out of 2,800 persons that wrote it, we have only a little over 700 people that made it to Makola, which I'm not too sure to be excited about or to be afraid about.
I mean, the rate of failure is massive, and I would say again, I didn't bother to sit the exam this year, but if you look at the quality of people who get into these institutions, I always want us to reflect, go back in the day. Once you even got into the faculty, you passed through, you were going straight to the School of Law. You get it. The quality is there, and you would get to interact with these people, and you know they are good. But again, especially here in Africa, especially here in Ghana, we're very social way, and you must get this score before you qualify to. I mean, it runs through our system. You must go through BECE. If you don't pass, your education likely is truncated. You're not going anywhere. WASI, if you don't pass that exam, you are not going into any tertiary institution. You want people to pass science and all of that. Some people are simply not even science oriented. People must necessarily pass mathematics and certain things. I agree, there are certain baselines. But if you go to a country like Germany, right from the base, they are narrowing out, segmenting. The fish is going to the watery area. The monkey is going to the tree. Like, it's so, and believe you me, that is why we are getting our industrialization wrong in this country. That's why we're not going anywhere.
From the basics.
Because we are not doing even the proper segregation. How do we, for example, we've conducted a census. How do we know how many accountants do we have? It should give us the data. We have X number of accountants. This is our need for accountants in the country. Within the next 5 years, we must ensure that we are getting more accountants or more engineers and all of that. So this country, I'm sorry, but sometimes when I think about our planning and especially our education and how narrow we are, it irks my spirit.
Well, I kind of disagree, because if we change it, then the people who are going to benefit from the new system will not go through what you went through, and we become who we are.
That's unfair, Jay. That's unfair.
And that is part of the vicious.
That's unfair. If he ever becomes
teacher, can't lash me for free and allow.
Don't ever vote for him if he wants to be a member of parliament.
The one's coming, but they must face the same thing.
But it's really difficult, because some months ago they reported that they are not taking a lot of law students because of infrastructure. But today it sounds as though.
How many decades? Our law school has been around since what? Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Nkrumah. In the meantime, Kenya, they've surpassed us. Rwanda, well, now civil law. So people. There was a time when Ghanaians would go to Rwanda, get qualifications, and come and do the post call. In fact, do you know, I saw something yesterday that about 65% of those who are called to the bar in Gambia, guess what? Are Ghanaian. Yes.
Then they are definitely way lower than
Ghanaians who failed, who supposedly failed.
Listen to
Jim,
to make
our
it
standards are so high. You understand? I don't speak for the bar, but I mean we will try. I'll see what I can do. Anyway, let's go to the Daily Guide newspaper as well. Kaka witness lied. Agric is big. It's a big deal. Otto Srib was speaking on there, and also 2 robbers killed, 4 escaped, and 1 grabbed. Stories on the front page here of the Daily Guide newspaper. Also, Bempa's boy also grabbed as well. A middle page story here, Shatawale covering bigger part of it. I don't know if you heard about the death prophecy that this pastor also passed on to Shatawale, a guy called Charles, saying that the dancehall artist called Charles will be shot like Lucky Dube in South Africa as well. The story is here.
But did he specifically, because...
He says Charles a dancehall
Charles
artist.
is not the only...
He says Charles a dancehall artist. Well, Shata's response says he'll buy bullet-proof clothing as well. Anyway.
I only have a problem with
a lot of the time prophets, so to speak, they only prophesy the negative.
Yes, because we need to find out who's going to win.
I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time it's on the negative end.
Well, even talking predictions, well, I'm not a pastor though, but so far my football predictions has been on point. I mean, yesterday, for example, I clearly said to a couple of friends over Yama.
Why do you want to do that to Chelsea?
That so what happened was that yesterday when Juventus scored their first goal, I immediately turned to my friends and I said to them that Manchester United is going to win by 2-1. And boom, I woke up this morning. And I
goes by.
Yeah.
Alex Telles scored his very first in Man U colours. And you know, the other one, so I will name that as you.
Yeah. Last dying minute of the game. So, MF, will discuss my predictions later on.
We could make something out of that too. Anyway, so let me just do 2 stories from the Business Finder. Ghana will have, you guys should be interested. You should be happy about this. You were talking about maize yesterday.
Yeah.
Ghana will have food in abundance.
Is that a prophecy or?
Next year.
Is that prophecy or it's got data and science too? Yeah.
Dr. Usu Efriakoto, Minister of Food and Agriculture, says a routine tour to food production areas shows that the country will have plentiful food next year. Full stop.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
But a lot of the time I ask myself, again, in this country, do you know a lot of the time we are never like, we have. It is always, we will, we shall. When will we ever get there?
Well,
the pipeline, we never get to the end of the pipeline.
At least we're eating though.
The tunnel, we never
we're
get
still
there.
eating. It's not like we're in a drought yet. So.
Okay, let me shout one of Africa's most valuable brands. In fact, the most valuable one. MTN has been ranked as Africa's most valuable brand again for the second year in a row. Now, they've been assigned by Brand Finance Africa a brand value of $2.7 billion. What would you guys do with $2.7 billion?
Quite a lot. Life-changing money, isn't it? A lot.
Would you tithe on $2.7 billion, which would be $270 million? Would you tithe on it? MFL will definitely not respond to that because I will answer for her.
I do not want to sound unpatriotic. I don't want to sound like I'm not serious, so please, I won't talk about.
Where Janka no more those things.
Well, let's go with your stories.
But that's the other story I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
More stories?
Yeah, so the Chronicle this morning, police declare war on robbers. Another 2 gunned down. There's a photo of one Abraham Kwesi Tetes. He's a suspect with handcuffs. Is on page 2 and 3 of the Chronicle. We say, I mean, because you probably think that it's doing some job somewhere, and apparently is an armed robber. Well, so a suspect in free-for-all fight with police, and is on page 12 of the Chronicle. I'm not too sure what that story is about, but it's on page 12 of the Chronicle this morning. There's a photo of how a part of Kumasi is filled in so much filth as Zoom Lion fails to evacuate waste. Is also in front of the Chronicle. Be a good time to give you the scripture reading for today. Isaiah 61 verse 8. For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrongdoing. Really? Robbery like that, straightforward, is in the Bible?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I hate robbery and wrongdoing.
Well, it depends on the version.
Isaiah, yeah. So you'll find it in Isaiah 61 verses
and it feeds
8.
into the robbery story.
Yes, it does. It does. Ghana Tourism Authority introduces initiative to boost domestic tourism. It's in the center spread of the Chronicle this morning.
Well, let me also wrap up here with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Heavy rains cuts off 46 communities in the Brong Ahafo, the Brong Ahafo region, right? Yeah.
Well, it's been split
now, so it's Bono.
There is Bono, Ahafo, and then Bono. I think Ahafo something.
Well, I think this will represent Bono. So Bono also 396 suspected criminals grabbed in the Ashanti region, 792 motorcycles impounded, and I hope these are, what happens to them? I mean, would they be sold? Would they be returned to them?
I saw something recently where some of these very cute taxis from wherever had been purchased that they were going to give to the Okada
as well.
People.
On the back page here as well, 2021
they rejected it.
Farmers' Day launched in Accra and to be held in the central region. These are the main stories in the Ghanaian Times newspaper, and that's it for me.
Okay. Benjamin, you got some stories?
Well, I'll highlight this. Kaka's family has no right to question our work. And that's something I'm getting into today. Vladimir Impidanso, he was on that ministerial committee, and he says the family has no right to criticize the committee's work. They don't have the right to question us because they did not send us. That is what he is saying. I'll run that by Nafiu Mohammed, spokesperson for the Kaka family this morning, and find out what he thinks about that. But my final bit, Chief of Staff in the Kufuor administration, Kwadwo Mpianim, is not entirely against the decision to purchase a new jet for our president, but he says it will depend on the terms, what is in our coffers, and whether as a country, when you look at it, we need it or not. That is Mpianim, who is a former Chief of Staff and former President Kufuor, and that is in the new Crusading Guide.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice to know that the committee really heavily relied on the job of Erastus Asari Donko. Yeah, and so
the same Erastus who was bastardized, threatened.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate. The Assistant Central Member of Parliament, Kennedy.
I don't know whether he's going to render an apology. I doubt, but I think that it's good to commend our colleague. He did a good job because most of his job that he did was what the committee really cited as evidence.
Practically all of it.
Practically all of it.
Practically all of it.
All of it. Yeah.
Work.
All right, so that's how we bring NewsFlash to a close this morning. There's still more on the show to come beyond the headlines, business, sports, as well as social watch this morning and our guest interview. All this lined up right here on Prime Morning.
Guest interview.